On the back of every Criterion, it reads, "The Criterion Collection, a continuing series of important classics and contemporary films." That's a promise on every single one of the Criterion Collection. And if you are a veteran of the collection, you know that. But if you are a novice or a beginner in the Criterion Collection and you're looking to expand your history, your knowledge of classic cinema and current contemporary cinema, I have 10 films right now that I'm gonna recommend for you. Hi, my name is Jack from Minnelli Studio Entertainment, and I'm here to give you 10 classic films that you should add to your Criterion Collection. Now, this isn't a series of videos I've been making for the past year. This is, I believe, my 5th one. So down below, I'll give you the playlist for the other collections. I believe it's like 20, 30 films I've already recommended, including some box sets. So with all the rigmarole done, let's get into the video. The first film I want to talk about is the Martin Scorsese 2023 modern classic, Killers of the Flower Moon. Now, this is a contemporary film, and the Criterion Collection has films all the way date back to the earliest of films to the newest of films, and that's one reason why I love the collection. It's just not, old films, right? It shows and curates important films like this, who was an Apple TV Plus film. They didn't have a American physical release. I believe Italy had a release, but it wasn't looking good for us until this was announced. This came out this year, actually, and I watched it. This is such a great film. I saw it in theaters. Again, Martin Scorsese, we are blessed and gifted to have such an amazing filmmaker working and living today. From his generation, from the early 70s to now, bless his heart. Thank you, Scorsese, if you're watching this and you made another banger. This comes with a gatefold right here, 3-disc set with a beautiful booklet. And if you know anything about my channel, I love these digipacks, especially these big thick boys. Beautiful stuff. The 4K resolution is amazing. This film stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro, two of Martin Scorsese's biggest collaborators. For the first time in a feature film, they were in a short film together, but this is a feature 3.5 long hour epic about Robert De Niro's character orchestrating the genocide of the Osage people, trying to get their money into his pockets. This film is a tragedy, and it's kind of hard to watch at times, especially when you're seeing all the Osage people murder at the beginning of the film. There's like a montage of like this person dead, this person dead, this person dead, and nobody is looking into it. Nobody cares, and it takes them to go to Washington and to get something done. And this is secretly the film about the FBI being formed for the first time and on their first job. I'm not quite sure. You got Jesse Plemons in that role, and he was very small role, but amazing as always. But amazing film. You should pick it up for your collection. It's spy number 1302. Pick it up, and the 4K is glorious. Next, I got a new Hollywood classic. Some people say it's the film that started the downfall of New Hollywood. I say it's probably the first strike, and that is 1977's William Friedkin's Sorcerer. This is a harrowing film, and if Killers of the Flower Moon is a film about a tragedy, this film is a tragedy of how it failed so hard in the box office and critically back in 1977. This stars Roy Schneider as a gangster on the run, living in some unknown South American country, and he and 3 other men, 2 of them also being on the run, a terrorist and a French aristocrat that had some laundering or money problems and was going to go to jail, so he's on the run. And one other man, who is a hitman, taking giant trucks of nitroglycerin through the Amazon rainforest. And the nitroglycerin is so old and so beaten up that one little tick will blow up the whole damn truck. This film is amazing. Tangerine Dreams does the soundtrack, and that was before they were doing soundtracks. So the first time, so if you like films like Manhunter, think this film. William Friedkin, this is probably the best William Friedkin directing job next to, say, The Exorcist. But yeah, guys, if you haven't checked out Sorcerer, which most people haven't, before this there was a Warner Archive Blu-ray, which I have, but not a lot of people watch this. I know Quentin Tarantino is a big fan of this, and he was putting this film on the map for a long time, but I'm glad this has this beautiful Criterion release. This 4K was gorgeous. Another digipack, like I just said, for the Killers of the Flower Moon. Got a nice gatefold, 3-disc set. What a tiny booklet, but you know, the film and the special features itself are amazing. One of the special features is the interview between William Friedkin and Nicholas Revan Wright around when Nicholas Revan Wright released Only God Forgives, and he's like, that's Only God Forgives is my Sorcerer, and I'm like you. It's a great interview. I love it. It's about an hour and a half long. Yeah, great film, harrowing, tense. If you ever seen that bridge scene, oh man, it's so good. This is a remake or readaptation of a novel called Wages of Fear, which is also another film in the Criterion Collection, which is also good, but it's good for other reasons. If you see Wages of Fear, it's not like you saw Sorcerer. Pick it up, Sorcerer, great movie. It's not a fantasy film. Pick it up. It's spy number 1267. Next is a 1993 film, Menace to Society. It's directed by Albert and Alan Hughes, who I know from the Book of Eli. I love that film so much. So when first time I watched it, this film was in the Criterion Collection. I knew about it for years. And look at this cover right here. Oh, look, these Menace 2. Oof, you gotta love it. This is just the Blu-ray copy, but it was beautiful. I'm telling you, it was gorgeous. Little pamphlet. This is another hard film to watch, my friends. It's about this young man named Cain growing up in a bad environment and how his environment infects his life and how he can try to get out of the environment, but it keeps trying to bring him back in. His friends try to keep back him, you know, his family, his grandparents try to get him out. He tries to be with young Jada Pinkett Smith, but it's just society and the world that keeps bringing him down. And he's a great character, and there's this narration in the film. I don't want to spoil it, but at the end you learn how the narration is being. It's breathtaking. It's you've never seen anything like it in cinema. This is very much inspired by the gangster films of Martin Scorsese, but unlike, say, Goodfellas, which some people glamorize that lifestyle, this is not glamorizing the life of gangsters, of these young gangsters. Simply love it. Pick it up. Very important film. Spy number 1105. Next is another masterpiece by the filmmaker Wim Wenders, I'm sorry, sir, is Paris, Texas. Paris, Texas stars Henry Dean Stanton. If you know Henry Dean Stanton, he is a wonderful actor, so good, and this might be his masterpiece as a wandering man through Texas. In search of what? We don't know. And he is found one day, after 5 years of leaving his family, leaving his son, and his brother picks him up to bring him home to see his son. And after that, him and his son go on this road trip to find his mother, the son's mother. Spoiler. Such a great film. The first 20 minutes is almost silent. you see this Texas landscape like you've never seen it before. Such a beautiful film, such a film about, you know, philosophy and about life. And I simply love it. This is a film that you can't really spoil. I can tell you the whole film, but this is a film you need to experience. This is a film that you need to put the phone away and just watch and absorb the film, the colors, the acting, the sounds. Absolutely love this film. If I would have to recommend you pick up any film here that you wouldn't already pick up, it would be this one. This Paris, Texas, such a great film, such a masterpiece. Pick it up. Wim Wenders has other films in the collection, such as Wings of Desires, which I haven't seen, but I definitely want to see more of Wenders films after this. This is spine number 501. Le Cercle Rouge, or The Red Circle, directed by Jean-Pierre Melville. Melville has been a point of conversation on my channel, mostly due to his film prior to this, Le Samurai, as a minimalist masterpiece, and Melville continued that through Army of Shadows and to Le Cercle Rouge. This is a pretty long film, 140 minutes, about essentially a heist, right? This is a heist film. And it doesn't, there's not a lot of dialogue in it. The camera just sits there and hovers, and you're just watching these cool guys doing cool things, trying to see if they're gonna get out of the situation or if they're gonna get their, if they're gonna complete the heist. This is just the leveling up from Le Samurai. This film does everything Le Samurai does, but on a way more cinematic level. It's gorgeous. This film has been out of print for a very long time, but when it got announced from Blu-ray 4K, I was so excited and I picked it up right away. This is spine number 281, showing you how old this film is, how long it's been in the Criterion collection. Melville is an important figure of French cinema, so if you want to get more into him, I would suggest check out Le Cercle Rouge. Big inspiration from the film Asphalt Jungle, which I've recommended before. He freaking loves that film. He loves Asphalt Jungle. He references all the time, and this is kind of like his version of Asphalt Jungle, a heist film. So Le Cercle Rouge 4K, pick it up. Another big hitter, No Country for Old Men. I absolutely love this film. I have a review of this film on my channel, so I'll probably put it up right here. Click right here if you want to check that out. But you know what this film is. The Coen brothers, Ethan and Joel, you got Javier Bardem, you got Tommy Lee Jones, and you got Josh Brolin, and you got Cormac McCarthy adaptation. What a breathtaking film. This is the second film I have recommended that takes place in Texas. You know, Texas is a beautiful filmic location, what do I gotta say? And this is for me just telling you, say if you're new to the collection and you don't know this is in it, guys, here it is. Very easy to get into the Criterion collection. Pick up No Country for Old Men. If you gotta know what it's about Josh Brolin is Llewellyn Moss, and he one day stumbles on a drug deal gone wrong, and he gets $2 million, and he has to go on the run from this guy named Anton Chigurh, who is evil incarnated. He is the devil, the plague, and Josh Brolin has to outrun him. But how do you outrun the devil? It's beautiful. Roger Deakins is a cinematographer. The Coen brothers wrote this. They directed it. I believe they edited it. I could be wrong. I know they edit most of their films. Breathtaking film. One Best Picture, one Best Actor for Javier Bardem. Chilling film. If you're gonna teach you anything about life, it's gonna teach you everything you need to know. It's very violent. It's very quiet. I like the minimalist films. What I gotta say? But yeah, this is spine number 1243. No Country for Old Men. Pick it up. Uncut gems. Adam Sandler and the Safdie Bros. Benny and Josh Safdie. What an amazing film. Digipack, you know I love that. And boom, bringing back to the 90s. Furby. Boom. film. Love this booklet. It looks like a jewelry, a jewelry catalog. Wow, what can I say about this film that hasn't been already said? Anxiety driven. Adam Sandler's best performance, the way he just changed his voice when he's talking to different people, the inflection. If he's talking to his wife, he talks a certain way. He talks to his customers, he talks a certain way. He just is a tour de force of acting in this film. The Safdie brothers really know how to shoot a film, make you feel like you're there and you're watching things you're not supposed to see. You're watching people during their most intimate moments, people getting beaten up, people doing deals, people just coming home after a long day's work. It's a very, very high intensity film. If you're a fan of Marty Supreme, that came out last year, I actually have that right here. If you're a fan of Marty Supreme, you'll definitely be a fan of this film right here, Uncut Gems. I already did a film review of that. I'll put that up here. I absolutely love this film. Again, this is a 2019 film, so contemporary masterpiece. So if you're trying to get into the collection and you don't want to go to, older films, you don't want to try, Asphalt Jungle, Seven Samurai, you want to get something that here you go, right here. You know this film, you know that face. Adam Sandler, the Safdie brothers are very relevant filmmakers. Benny made The Smashing Machine last year. Josh did Marty Supreme. Check it out, great film. Uncut Gems, spy number 1001. Another film from 1993, The Piano, directed by Jane Campion, sorry about that. Starring Holly Hunter and Anna Paquin, who won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress this year for her role. The Piano is about a woman, Holly Hunter, who cannot speak, who gets her only pleasure in life is playing a piano, and she is forced to marry Sam Neill and moved to New Zealand, and she kinda, falls in love with Harvey Keitel. Who blames her? He's amazing. Anyone would fall in love with him. And yeah, I don't really want to spoil much. Again, Anna Paquin won the Academy Award. This won the Palme d'Or, I believe. Yeah, it won the Palme d'Or for Cannes. First woman director to do that. It's a beautiful looking film. I wouldn't recommend you watching this with your parents unless your parents are about that. I don't know what else to say about it. I don't want to spoil it. It's a film that you need to experience. Holly Hunter is so amazing in this film, and I really wish she did more roles like this afterwards. Anna Paquin, who plays her daughter, is delightful, but I think she is the reason why Leonardo DiCaprio did not win the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for What's Eating Gilbert Grapes, because they couldn't let two children win the Academy Award. So that's my conspiracy theory. I'm gonna go to the grave with that. But again, beautiful looking film, challenging story, right? Challenging story about a woman who is, a woman and a mother and a person, and what does she want out of life? It's really, that's the story, her finding her happiness, her place in the world, and making her decisions for herself. So check out The Piano. That is spy number 1110. This man needs no introduction. I've already mentioned him once in this video, and that is the great David Lynch. Now, I could probably recommend any of his films. I actually did recommend Eraserhead in one of these, but this time around, I'm going for Lost Highway, 1997 noir, psychedelic, surrealist film. And if you know anything about me, I love noir, dark films, dark crime films, surrealist, and again, magical realism at points. If you're into the author Murakami, Lost Highway, It's about a jazz musician who transforms into another man when he is put to jail for murdering his wife, Patricia Arquette. Such a trippy film. Don't really try to understand it. It's just about how us as humans want to remember things the way we want to remember, and we will morph our life into what we believe it should be. We would use our minds, our souls to make our perfect life and live in a world of ignorance. But ignorance is bliss, as some people say, and that's what happens to Bill Pullman, and he is a sick person, and this movie's confusing. This movie talks about the devil. This movie talks about reality. It talks about life, and what is the lost highway, which is ideas Lynch has been using. Twin Peaks and Twin Peaks and the Returns. Such a wonderful film. Another film you need to experience, not just listen to someone talk about. If you know all about this film, if you have watched the theories on this film, you have not seen this movie. It needs to be experienced. Lost Highway, spy number 1152. And last, and certainly not least, the Infernal Affair trilogy. Now, 2 out of the 3 films here are stellar. The first 2 are amazing, right? The first one and the second one is kind of a prequel to the first one, and the third one is a sequel to all of it. And if you don't know what this is about, have you ever heard of a film called The Departed? Well, this is the original Departed. And The Departed essentially took the first film and some of the second and some of the third and made The Departed, which is an Academy Award winning film for Mr. Martin Scorsese, becoming the best director. I don't know if that won Best Picture, but he definitely won Best Director. So if you don't know what that is, if you don't know what The Departed is about, or you don't know what this is about, it is a Hong Kong film directed by Andrew Lau and Alan Mark. It's about an undercover cop working for a gangster and an undercover gangster working for the cops. And it's this cat and mouse game of them trying to find each other. The film opens up with this, I think it's Buddhist quote, and it's about the living hell and how the men in this film, if or when they die, are just going to come back to where they are, because they are already living in their living hell. It can't get worse than this. They are men trying to hide their true nature, and it's sad. It stars Tony Chum and Andy Liu Tak. Wonderful stuff. Tony, if you don't know, Tony Lum is like the Brad Pitt of China, and he's been in multiple films, like in Hard Boiled. Wonderful actor, wonderful films. I love these films so much. This is a tangent. I just said how much I love Martin Scorsese, Killers of Flower Moon, and I love The Departed. It was a film that got me into films. It got me into looking into, all this here. Without The Departed, I may not even be here. I love the film. I don't think Scorsese should have directed it. Once you watch this, it's clearly a director like Michael Mann should have directed, or if they had to remake this, it should have been someone like Michael Mann style. This is a very minimalist film, and Scorsese is a maximalist. He's like, throw everything in the camera, editing, sound, acting, throw it all. This is minimalist. This is thought-provoking. This is, I'm not saying Scorsese movies aren't thought-provoking, Taxi Driver, right? But this is not a Scorsese film, right? I love you, Scorsese, if you're watching this. Thank you for everything you do, again. But yeah, Infernal Affairs, great trilogy. The third one is okay. The first two are almost masterpieces. And the third one, and it's hard, right? The first one's like a 9, the second one's like a 9, the third one's like a 7. Does that make it bad? Absolutely not. Does it make it great? No, but it's a good freaking film. I don't know, I can't say I love it, but I like it. But the first two, breathtaking. Check it out. They're not long films. 110, 119, 118. The first one's the best. The second one is kind of like The Godfather 2, but it's only the De Niro scenes. So like leading up to the first film. I love the opening of the film when the main character is at like an audio place and they meet each other, him and the other criminal who's the cop. I probably said too much already. So check out Infernal Affairs, spy number 1159. Well, that's it. I hope you learned something today. I hope you're gonna pick up some of these films. You know, the Criterion sale is right around the corner in July and then again in November, and it happens every year. Most of these films you would find on, say, you know, HBO Max or obviously the Criterion channel. So if you don't want to blind buy them or just take my recommendation, I would recommend checking them out first, you know, legally, right? HBO Max has the Turner Classic Movies, has almost every major film in the Criterion collection in there, right? And the Criterion channel has like thousands of films you can try. So please check out these films. They're amazing. If you're new to the Criterion channel, comment down below the first films you're gonna pick up in the Criterion collection. And if you're a veteran, put your recommendations down below, right? Spread the love. This is a discussion channel. I want people talking to each other. I want people recommending things and talking about the films they love. You know, the films I recommend today, I love. They're such breathtaking films. They are films that can change your world. So with that being said, I'm Jack from Minnelli Studio Entertainment. If you like content like this about the Criterion collection and other boutique labels, subscribe. I have a ton of reviews already, a ton of Criterion videos already. Check them out. If you want, comment down below. If you're new, comment down your first Criterions you're gonna pick up. If you're a veteran of Criterion, which I know there are a lot of you out there, comment down below your #1 recommendations down there and hit that thumbs up. There's a pretty good video, right? You know, recommend you more than 10 films, you know. The last one was a box set, so 12 films altogether. So hit that like button. And till next time, I'm Jack from Minnelli Studio Entertainment saying, watch some more movies.